Hi, thanks so much for that, Michelle, and welcome everyone. Just beginning with our land acknowledgements and a couple introductions. So my name is Natalie Meisner. I'm a playwright, a professor of literature, and Mohkinstsis Calgary's fifth poet laureate. I'm a queer mom, a member of a biracial, binational family, and an artist working for social change. And I'm really excited today to tell you a bit more about our Mount Royal University and Calgary Immigrant Services Creative Writing Project. My collaborators and colleagues at Mount Royal are thankful to be working in Treaty 7, the traditional territories of the Cree, the Blackfoot Confederacy, including the Siksika, the Piikani, and the Kainai, as well as the Dene, the Métis, Nakota, Saulteaux, Stoney, Tsuut'ina, and other Indigenous peoples. We are all treaty people. So this is a Spark session. What we're looking to do is just lay out a bit of the project that we've been working on, and then at the end, get your thoughts as we take the project forward. So it is a community service learning type project that brings undergraduates and immigrant senior citizens together. And we'll tell you a little bit about that and then save lots of time at the end in order to get your ideas. So what we do in this project is we bring senior citizens, as I mentioned, and undergraduates together for creativity and in order to make a book. So this is a project that began some now going on 10 years ago, and it began in life writing. So Mount Royal undergraduate creative writers were brought together with senior citizens from the Garrison Green Seniors Residence and United Active Living. Together, creative writing students and senior citizens worked in pairs in a semester-long collaboration. And they had mentors from faculty, so mentors from creative writing. And then we also, at various points, brought in some students from social work as well in order to enrich our learning along the way, which was really great. The end result of the project, and it did have a curricular tie-in with our fourth year undergraduate class, which is called Experiential Studies in Creative Writing. The result after the end of one semester is that they would publish a book together. So senior citizens and students would both work on pieces of their writing throughout the semester. At the end of the year, we would publish a book. And it has just been that project that's kept on giving, going on 10 years now, finding students meaningful work. It shows up on their resumes in all these beautiful ways. And it's created all these amazing, kind of side benefits that we had no idea about when we began teaching them, looking for outlets basically for creative writing in the community. So these are just a couple pictures of our students and our seniors working together in the first iteration. These creative writing students and seniors work together in these collaborative pairs, and each of them would work on a piece together. And then most years when we had the book launch, you can see them at the microphone, they would also share their work. And so they would have all the benefits of kind of making a piece of art, so working on a piece of creative writing together. And then they would also have these kind of friendship benefits, communication benefits. It brings these unique sectors of the population together in exciting ways. So some of the benefits for students and for seniors. Some benefits for students, and there are more, but these are just kind of the ones that we've picked out over the years, is that they learn kind of the community service model. They find ways for their own skills as students and as writers and as creatives to really tie it in to a community setting and to help people. It also takes them into independent and real world situations. So you would have students, needing to coordinate their own meetings with seniors. They would have to talk to the organizers, the front desk people. They would need to make sure, that if they were setting up a meeting, that the resident could meet them on time. So there were a lot of real world skills and real world situations that they picked up. They got to apply their creative writing skills. They also learned empathy and resilience, and they really had to think on their feet in so many different ways. And that was doing, so much in terms of getting them ready for the job market, but also just getting them ready to be a change maker, to see how they could take what they knew and apply it to the world and make real change. Some of the benefits for seniors are things like intergenerational dialogue, which is so important if we see about how the ways that so many of the big issues and big problems in the world are breaking down along generational lines. I think intergenerational dialogue and cooperation may well be the key to solving some of those big issues. So it's something I keep taking an interest in. We keep taking an interest in. Some of the other benefits are just kind of creative aging. You know, if you can look back at your life history and you can repurpose it and you can package it as narrative for somebody and put it in a book, it is just like one of the best things you can do for yourself in terms of taking agency of your own narrative and control of your own narrative. It also introduces the idea of continuous learning. So not only are the seniors like imparting their wisdom and their knowledge to the young people, they're also engaging in this sort of cycle of continuous learning. We're building all this great community. So the seniors residence, the first one that we picked was really close to Mount Royal. So that's where our university is. So these are literally folks that are macrobiotically in our neighborhood that we're reaching out to. And that also opens the door to them. Maybe after they've been working with us on our project, maybe they want to come in and take a class, or maybe they want to come in and visit a class and share their knowledge. So we thought it also built all these great bridges to the university environment. So in terms of, we also saw a really big overlap in terms of what, you know, I see as change maker skills. I came to change making after I came to creative writing, but I see so much overlap between the two skill sets. So for creative writers, we teach them resilience, innovation, flexible thinking, collaboration. You need to have all these skills if, for example, you are writing a play or directing a play, both things that I've done in the past. You need to be able to take input from everybody in the room. And you need to be able to reconfigure the script, however you conceive of the script, and roll those things into the final product. So these are all skills that have a high degree of overlap. You really need active listening. You need to be able to devote energy to other people's thoughts and to strive to understand multiple points of view. It's become, something that I say in writing classrooms every year is I tell them, I can teach you how to write character layers. I can teach you how to write subtext. I can't really teach you empathy. That is something that, I think it is a muscle. You can develop it, but you need to engage in that. It's not something that exists in a textbook anywhere. It's a change maker skill. It's something that you hone and that you take forward. The other thing that you really need for creative writing is metacognition. This is so key. You need to be aware of your own thoughts, strategies, and your impact on others. You also need to be a creative writer and also a change maker. You need clarity in your communication. You need precision. In order to write something really good that reaches audiences, you need to avoid generalizations, exaggerations, distortions. You need to find the key questions, just like change makers do. And the final thing, and this is something we keep coming back to when we work with our seniors and with our students, is you need to gather data using all of your senses. So that's something, in order to write really good text, you need to do that. I think these are all things we need to bring to the table when we work with community groups as change makers. So after 7 wonderful years, we've been working with this seniors project just down the road from Mount Royal. We had the opportunity to add a cross-cultural collaboration to the project. And so Professor Ida Patient, who's here on the call with us, and I took the opportunity to form a new partnership with Immigrant Services Calgary. And this added an exciting new chapter to it. So not only was it now an intergenerational project that was kind of forged through creativity, now it's a cross-cultural one. It's an intercultural one, because you have you have seniors who have not only life experience, which is different to our undergraduates by virtue of of which generation they're part of. They've also lived in other countries. They've also, they've lived all over the world. They have a perspective which comes from their home country. They have a perspective as new Canadians. And so that added this amazing dimension to the project. Okay. So this year, of course, and so we did 2 anthologies. At the end of this slideshow, you can find links to both of the anthologies that we did with Calgary Immigrant Services on a couple different themes. We did one on food broadly construed, and the second one we did on pleasure, joy, or sorry, the one from this year we did on pleasure, joy, and the pursuit of happiness. this was sort of a paradoxical theme. We all knew this at the outset. We knew that we were going to be doing this project during pandemic. We knew that we didn't really want to make a book this year. We decided instead to collaborate on a short film because passing a book around is going to be increasing a risk factor for seniors. Passing a book around is, is just like not what you want to be doing in this environment. And then we also thought maybe we could, and instead of bringing these two vulnerable populations together, we could add some new skills into this, because this was at the very beginning of pandemic when not a lot of seniors had used Zoom at all, when even some of us were just getting used to it. So in addition to all the previous aims that we articulated, we added skills with online meetings and also skills with recording technologies in order to fight social isolation. So we had seniors locked down, we had students locked down. We thought we're never going to be able to get together for a book launch. So let's work on a short film. That meant that the seniors got to try out some of their material on camera, and they had to be, they had to be comfortable doing that. Some of them chose to appear in voice only. We kind of worked with them on that to figure out their comfort level. And so what I'd like to do for you now is just play a short clip of the film that we made this year. And then after that, we'll take some time to just engage in that Spark session. So hopefully this short clip will give you a really good idea of our work together this year.
Hi, I'm Dr. Natalie Meisner, and it's been my great pleasure to work on the Immigrant Services Calgary and Mount Royal University Creative Writing Project. This project brings undergraduates and seniors together in pairs to work on their creative writing. At the end of semester, a book is usually published and shared with family, friends, and community. This year, due to the pandemic, we were unable to meet in person, but we knew that there was an even greater need for programs such as this one that promote intergenerational relationships and fight social isolation. We knew we had to do things differently, but we knew we could not stop this program. Using a combination of various online meeting platforms, we continued to meet as a group throughout the semester in student-senior pairs as well as in a larger group. We worked on poems, stories, and life histories. All worked together to get a grip on these new technologies. Friendships were formed, and what you see here in this film is a brief selection of our work together this year.
What is happiness? Some people may say it is money. Others believe it is health or fame. I believe that happiness is the feeling of contentment or satisfaction. I feel satisfied when I see others are also satisfied and happy. Happiness is around us if we search.
During my childhood, every year I enjoyed life by celebrating the festivals and meeting family and friends, along with spending time with my brothers and sisters. I will try to settle myself and my wife in Canada, Calgary, and take care of my grandchildren and their needs in coming days. Help them and educate them to become good, lovable kids and bring them up with good discipline in life. Thank you all, one and all. Thank you very much.
So how are you doing? Fine, and I'm very happy to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you too. This is the last day that we're going to be meeting.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, but it's been such a nice last 2 months spending
Yes.
time with you.
Yeah, me too. Me too. What should we talk about? You choose. About Bahare. Why is her baby in her belly? Oh, we have to ask her. I'm silent. I wish I could have wings to fly to Australia. Yes, my daughter is going to have a baby in 10 days, and I cannot go there because of COVID-19. Where do I belong to? I really don't know.
And this COVID-19 is awful.
I agree. It makes it
Yeah.
difficult to meet with people and actually talk together.
Difficult time,
It is. It's not the same.
lonely time.
I agree. I spend
Yeah.
most of my time in my small apartment
Yeah. Oh.
all by myself.
Oh.
Those are my days.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Your room very cleaning.
Yes, I try to keep it clean. Yes.
Good.
I love singing deep. I was born with love deep in my heart and my blood. Beautiful lyrics takes me to the distance. Moving melody brings me the present echoes of nature. Paradise is everywhere when I singing.
I hear the sound of nature in all seasons. Listen closely. The sound of ringing night silence with bright stars in the sky. Beautiful melody, isn't it? Nature is the best composer, and her music is universal.
Great. So that was a little bit of a clip to give you an idea about the project itself. And then we wanted to really reserve the rest of the time for just to get your thoughts and your feedback. Maybe, if you know anyone who would be interested in using this system or making a system like this available for others to use, thoughts that you might have or things for us to think about that if we were to scale it going forward, some elements that we might add if we do it again next year. What would be most important for you or your organizations if you wanted to run such a program? At the end, so those are just some jumping off places. You can also feel free to just let us know any other ideas or thoughts or questions you had. At the end, you can find links to the anthologies. You can find some links to press about the project itself. And of course, our contact information, myself and Ida Patient, the other professor who worked very hard on this project. Yeah, and I think I'll stop sharing. This has also been made available. You can find all these slides in the slide section for the conference. So I'm going to stop sharing that right now and come back. Yeah. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Did you want to add anything to that, Ida, about your experience with the project or kick us off?
One of the things that I thought was absolutely amazing, I joined the project when it switched to the partnership with Immigrant Services Calgary. And what I noticed is that over the 3 iterations we have had with Immigrant Services Calgary and the wonderful, wonderful seniors who have been part of the project, is language acquisition. But not just that, confidence in speaking English, in being able to speak about their lives and their experiences in a language that isn't theirs, but they increasingly, as there have been quite a few seniors who wanted to come back yet again, who are excited about the next iteration in September 2021, their confidence with the English language has been amazing. So not only did they get past the, do I really have a narrative of any kind to share, but do I really have a narrative to share in the English language? And you know what? They did. And our students working one-on-one with our seniors were part of that experience. So I'm grateful. The way I see the progress is fantastic and positive and good and amazing.
Yeah. I would also note that you can take a ton of classes in post-colonial studies. You can take, you can do a bunch of formal study in anti-racist pedagogy. But for our undergraduate students who are maybe born in Canada and hadn't had that direct one-on-one experience, for them to work with somebody of a different generation, but also a new Canadian from another country, I just noticed the growth in them in leaps and bounds. So it has those mutual benefits, those benefits going in both directions for sure.
Yeah, it's both students and seniors. It is amazing to see it come along and feel privileged to be part of this that is ultimately taking shape, not necessarily because it's planned, but because it's about people who connect, and they've connected wonderfully, as we've seen in the clips.
Great. So we're kind of like, we're a smallish group there. I don't know if either you, Michelle, or Erica had thoughts or questions. I mean, if not, that's totally fine. We could, we can stop the session there, but we're kind of hoping to get some ideas from the community about the piece, or some thoughts on your experience in this area.
I love it. I mean, I think one of the things like I love most about life is hanging out with older people in different generations. And it's usually a lot of fun. You just learn a lot. There's also just, I mean, there's like I think you share a lot, but you learn a lot. And it's usually just like a really good time. And like that's my only like really experience. So I love this idea of like creating like a ongoing connection. I feel like this is something that should be everywhere. I know a lot of people kind of started a similar program in different areas in the US when the pandemic happened, so people could stay in touch and keep up with folks. Yeah, there's a couple of them, but
oh, cool. Do you know any of those names? Because I kind of want to do a bit of a study as we go into next year.
That too. Yeah.
Oh, sure. I can actually if you want to email me after this, I can definitely look that up, because I know for a fact, like in our area, people were doing that. In like the DC area, they had like
some kind of one-to-one.
It was student led, yeah, and it was students that were doing it too, to like just keep up with people, especially because people couldn't visit.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, there's a new one that's is student led at our institution. This one happens to be, it's called Rainbow Post. It's just starting up now, but they want to use the mail. So they want to go analog, and they want to connect LGBTIQ plus students with LGBTIQ plus seniors, specifically via the post. So I've been doing a little bit of helping out and consulting with them, but they want to just, because it's so hard sometimes to find queer elders, for example. And so that's relatively new on the scene, but it's sort of, it lays in the same track as some of these things that you're mentioning, Michelle, I think.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I know that I feel like recently that's been more in the news, the issue of queer elders and making sure that community's voice is heard. So that's amazing. And thank you so much for this session, and the video was so touching. And I really miss interacting with other generations. I feel like in the pandemic, it's been pretty hard to interact with anyone. So it's wonderful to see that connection still happening.
Right. Thanks, Erica. And where are you dropping in from? What's your institution, or where are you coming in from?
I am also in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, I'll go ahead and stop the recording. Excellent, excellent. This was awesome. I hope this continues.